Nick's shop is full of clients and visitors on this cold, wet Saturday morning. And the boss is working hard, trying to keep the jobs moving out.
It's an everyday grocery getter, but then again, it's not a muscle car. Yeah, it's one of my clients, but I'll fix it for him. He's a good client of mine, but anyways, we're done with it now, so we're gonna drive it out.
They can't all be 1970 Challengers. But Nick is so much of a car guy that he can even take satisfaction from maintaining an old Camry.
Here we got a Toyota Camry with 307,000 kilometers and it's still running. Wait, I get to drive the Volvo in a little while. Gonna go around the block and see how it goes. Gonna try it out.
To Nick, all his customers are important. Whether they're here to put on the summer tires and get an oil change, or bringing in a 426 Hemi for a rebuild. Vasily is in the engine room. Nick wanted him to assemble the short block on this Hemi that came in from Ontario. But just as it is with spring weather, things don't always go as smoothly as can be hoped for.
Zmo is really giving us a hard time, like in every single possible freaking way, man.
Vasily usually finds engine building relaxing. He says it's like meditation for him. But the fancy aftermarket pistons that were chosen for this build are only serving to frustrate Nick's apprentice today.
Yeah, this motor doesn't want to get put together, man. Look, it doesn't want to go in. I'm gonna shoot that piston through a wall. You have this, you want to put it through here, but it doesn't go. That's what happens, you know what I'm saying? Go figure that out.
Vasily has assembled plenty of engines, and usually the pistons slide right in. But there's something different with this build. He knows he gapped the rings right, but he's starting to suspect that they're not seating deep enough into the piston itself. Time to show Nick.
Now, push down tight here, okay? Okay, take it off, no good. Take it off. Something's wrong there.
Clearly, these rings aren't working with the grooves in the pistons. Now Nick will have to find some rings to fit, or send the pistons out for remachining. It's an issue that he really didn't need, with so many engines in the shop waiting to be rebuilt.
What a nightmare. What a nightmare.
On the bright side, it was a good diagnosis from Vasily. Nothing was broken, nothing was forced. And now they know better than to use that brand of aftermarket pistons on the next build. Everyone has good days and bad, and even a shop like Nick's can have a day when nothing seems to line up right. But rather than whine and go home, the guys here just wipe off their hands and take another crack at it. Case in point, this 1970 Volvo.
Let's start the beast.
After paying someone else to completely rebuild the carbs, Nick found out that they were only halfway done. Another lesson learned.
On the choke.
With the carburetors properly rebuilt, the car has been starting and idling great. And now that the rain has stopped for a minute, Vasily is going to make that test drive and save Nick a little time.
I'm gonna go for a suicide ride. Is it running?
I don't know. Yeah, it's running.
It's so quiet I can't even hear it.
The difference between this and a muscle car, you have to ask a question if it's running.
Vasily's Camaro's engine made more than 700 horsepower last time it was on Nick's dyno.
That's full throttle, by the way.
This Volvo made about 130 the day it rolled off the assembly line, way before Vasily was born. Like his boss, Vasily is a gentleman, so he always finds something good to say about everyone's car. And while it isn't scary fast, the Volvo's carbs would seem to be running great, since Manny gave them some of his attention. However, just as Vasily completes one lap around the block, the car quits.
I think those were the last days of the Volvo. Houston, we have a problem. He'll be coming back by walking. I don't think he's gonna make it, man. I don't know, it's dying. It's dying, it's dead. I think we should go around while we can.
Many of the Volvo fans in the comments on previous videos have said that they suspect rust in the fuel tank to be causing difficulty, and today they would seem to have a point.
I don't know if we can make it, bro. Cancel the race. I'm having issues. You're lucky. You would have lost. He made it under God's power. There's no power in that Volvo.
However it did it, the 164 made it back to the shop. That's one step better than when Nick took it out for a test drive and had to be pushed home.
Thank you for riding with the India Airlines.
And Vasily is still smiling.
Please enjoy your stay.
They've done the carburetors, they've done the fuel lines and the fuel pump. All that's left is the tank. Looks like that will be next. One thing's for sure. The guys at Nick's garage won't stop until this Volvo is running like a top. At the end of a long, tough day in which nothing seems to have gone right for Nick, he pulls around in a car that helped him relax after a difficult day last week. The Cornet 500. Last time, Nick got the brakes sorted out on this old beauty, and now the car is back for a little diagnosis under the hood.
We've got a Dodge Cornet 500 here with the 318 motor, and my customer's complaining about starting up. It has black smoke, sometimes blue smoke or whatever. So anyways, my goal here is to fix this choke to see why it runs rich. So let's get it started and we'll take it from there. It's a nice survivor, this car. Okay, let's go take a look, see what's happening with the choke. Better already. All I have to do is adjust the choke pull off, and there we have it. Looks like a brand new car. I guess we're gonna have to adjust the carburetor with the hose open because it's got a vacuum leak. So it's taking the air from here. So in other words, we don't block it off. Leave it open and let's make the adjustment after it's warmed up. Look at that, all original, 1967. Now why can't I find a Dodge Challenger in this shape, like this one? Yesterday I adjusted the timing, and right now I'm doing a choke test with the choke pull off and how much time it's taking to warm up and come off. So we're going to give it a few minutes and we'll take it from there. There we go, you see that? I see he's got a thermostat housing leak also, so we're going to fix that too later on. 180 degrees is the operating temperature on this motor. You got to get the engine at running temperature so that I can make the, when I can adjust the carburetor air fuel ratio. Yeah, it's a little 2-pound Carter, but it does the job. Look at that, look at this fitting, look at this. Hey, is that a no-no or what? That's we're gonna get a fuse one day. Okay, we're gonna tighten that up. Let it warm up. I want to see that choke open up 100%, which is like this. So, but then again, it's got a heat passing through the intake manifold to warm up the choke thermostat. Now this is an old system, of course. It's gonna take some time, but I gotta make sure that that choke opens up fully before I do any adjustments on the carburetor.
Nick has an eye for detail that serves him well on every job, from a full engine rebuild to adjusting a choke and noticing a dangerously loose fuel line. He's always looking out for his client and their safety.
Yeah, thought could have been a fire one day. There would have been a fuel leak right in front of the engine, so you never know, it could catch on fire one day. So now I secured the fitting, it should be okay. See this? This is where the pressure, the fuel from the fuel pump comes and enters into the carburetor. And it's always under pressure, so if it leaks, it just keeps pumping fuel. And of course, you're not going to see this while you're driving. So now that I notice it's loose, I tighten it up, it's secure, and now it's safe.
One of the best parts of any adjustment on a car like this, the test drive.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna go for a ride on a 67 Coronet 500 with a 318 motor, automatic. I just want to see how the carburetor reacts to my driving, of course. The timing was set yesterday. I had to adjust the choke, adjust the carburetor. I think I've got it tuned right. We're just gonna go for a little drive and try it out and see how it goes. Here we go. This is a fun ride, eh? Look at that. I just love these cars. You know, it brings me back history. When I used to build cars back in the alleys. Back in the alley, my mother's house. My parents' house, I should say. And I used to work on a lot of these cars in the mid-70s. Boy, you don't see a lot of these around anymore. But then again, at my shop, I get them every week. Let's go for a nice little joy ride. I guess this customer doesn't drive it very often, so you know what? I'll give it a little beating, see how it goes. Look at that, it flows like a ship. That's the way those cars were made those days. And you see, look, it's got manual brakes, look. You gotta push hard. Sure, it's got power steering, not a problem. But when it comes to non-power brakes, you gotta use your foot. Here, for example, we got a stop sign, and we got to stop, and look at this. You want to lock the brakes, and don't forget, this is 4-drum brakes. Is this old or what, eh? 1967 style. But then again, that's the way they build them. Just love it. Check it out, look at that, it's so smooth. You know, you go over the cracks on the road, you don't even feel them. I drive my wife's Mercedes with a low profile tires. Every little crack on the road, I feel it. This one here, nothing. Look how smooth it is. Talk about Cadillacs and Lincoln Continentals. This is one of them. Look at that smooth. Here we go. So simple. So the next thing we got to do on this car right now is, let me see now. Where's this list? Here we go. We had to fix, okay, I ordered a headlight switch. Headlights don't work. Horn, I fixed that last night. There it goes, perfect. Then we had to replace the master cylinder because the brake pedal is going to the floor. That's done. We adjusted the 4-drum brakes. We bled the system. Good stuff. Then we need to make a compression test or check the valve seals while it burns oil when it starts in the morning. Or should I say the initial start in the morning, you see a puff of blue smoke. So that's another thing I'm going to do. Next thing is remove the valve covers and check the valve seals or the valve guides and take it from there to see if it needs a valve job or change the seals on the valve stems. Look at that. This is 1967. This is a solid car. It's been painted once. That's about it. Besides that, it's all original. And of course, she's done a dual exhaust muffler job. That's about it. And these are the cars I enjoy driving. Let's make a full stop. And you know, 4-drum brakes. You know, when it comes to adjusting 4 drums, it takes time. It's not like a 4-wheel disc. You snap in the pads and you're done. And you know, you want to slam the brakes on the 4 drums. You want to make sure the car goes straight. Okay, it's never perfect. That's why they invented disc brakes. But then again, this is pretty good. I know some other cars, you got 4-drum brakes and you press the brake and you're fighting for life, holding the steering wheel. Because it wants to go that way or it wants to go this way. Look at this. This is very good. Look at this. I adjust it the best I can. Look at this. I hardly even hold the steering wheel. Look at this. Perfect. Look at that. It's not a power brake car. Of course, you got to press hard. But besides that, it is what it is. And that's the way Chrysler built them back in 1967. Here's, I could drive this car all day. I love it. No rattles, no nothing. Look how quiet it is. And now let's head back to the shop. I'll leave it here right now. Just bring it to the shop in a few minutes. And just wait for the switch to come in for next week. Let's see now, turn it off. Yeah, my customer was complaining about when you used to turn off the engine, you used to run on. That's because the choke was always set too high and it just kept on running too fast on idle and also burning gas for nothing. So we set the carburetor at the right RPM, turns it off, no run on, perfect.
Some guys need a drink after a hard day. Some need a therapist to help them work things out. Nick just spends a few minutes alone with an old Dodge, and everything starts to make sense again.
That was a nice ride. Love it. It sure brings back some memories. 1967. This is beautiful. I love driving these old cars. Beautiful.